What's up, guys? So title update 9 is upon us, and with that there's quite a few changes to the game. Now, I've been working on this aces build for a couple of hours, and I feel like I've gotten this sniper build very strong, and it's at the right place, and I'm very happy to present you guys my super sniper build. Now, with the changes coming to TU9, I've decided to go with a certain playstyle that I think everyone should employ, especially with the current difficulty in the game. This is going to be a PvE and a PvP build, obviously. You could one-shot any NPC in the game with the Nemesis, obviously, with this build. But this is actually not even going to be our primary weapon. There's a few things we've got to go through, so let's just get straight into it. Okay, so the first thing we need to know is what's the whole point of this build. The whole point of this build is to do as much headshot damage as possible. That's the whole point of this build. Headshot damage is very strong, and there's certain pieces that you're going to need. So this might be a bit difficult, but remember, guys, if you don't have the gun that I show you, just use whatever comes natural to you, which gun you enjoy using the most. You don't have to worry. Like, I made a previous build with the Eagle Bearer. Eagle Bearer is one of probably the best weapon in the game right now, but it doesn't matter. You can still do just as much damage with the P416. You don't have to just use what I show you guys. Remember, all my builds are templates for you guys to adapt to your own playstyle and work upon them. Don't ever just copy builds. Always adapt them to your playstyle. Let's get into this. So there's no need for me to explain this to you guys by now. Sharpshooter. We need that nice headshot damage. Make sure marksman rifle damage is on, and whatever secondary you might want to use. This is also really good because you do get weapon stability, which is really good if you want to be spamming the SVD. And also, this drone got a buff. It's actually really strong, and it allows you to see all the enemies around you, which is very handy, especially when you're very squishy and you need to be able to see where all the enemies are to do as much damage as possible. Make sure this is active. Sharpshooter is a must for this build. So I tested a whole bunch of stuff. I tried vigilance, I tried glass cannon, a perfect glass cannon, and this is the best build in my opinion for TU9 for snipers. Now, obviously, we're going to be utilizing the two best snipers in the game, in my opinion. All reds, as much reds as you guys can get. The White Death. Now, this is a very strong gun. This is actually named after a real person, Simo Kaya, who was one of the best snipers in history. Got over 500 kills. True story. So it's very cool. I love this weapon. The backstory is awesome. And yeah, this is probably the strongest sniper in the game because of the massive headshot damage that is here. 137%. The only issue is that we didn't know this, guys, but it actually rolled with an attribute. Now, previously it only had 2 core attributes. Now we've got an attribute. I got accuracy, which isn't too bad, but damage to armor is what you would want to have. Now, you can't get headshot damage, I'm guessing, because it's not a core attribute. Ranger is exactly what you will definitely need, which is multiplicative. It multiplies with the aces and eights, which we are going to be using. So make sure you guys have this on your weapon. It's very strong. When you're modding it, just go for what suits you. I like to stack a bit more accuracy. It does help your reticle close faster, which is very good for quick scoping. Now, I recommend you guys, if you like PvP quick scoping, don't use this scope. To be honest, I'm on PC. I can quick scope with this. If you're on console and you don't like the zoom in, just use something else. You can actually, the EXPS3 hollow sight is perfect because you get an additional 3% headshot damage. So that's what I would go for. But it's up to you. I don't mind zooming in, and we also get even more headshot damage, 45%. Let's go. Then, obviously, the Nemesis. This has just been fixed. Mine is pretty well rolled. Make sure to reconfigure and your exotic bench. At your exotic reconfiguration, at your crafting bench, make sure to try to get a good one. Don't get too greedy. I'm quite happy with this. It's not too bad. Almost got god roll headshot damage, which was a bit annoying, but it's okay. I'm good with that. So this actually works with focus. It never used to. It works really well now, and I recommend it. You can do, I think I can hit about between 12 and 13 million damage, which is really good with a fully charged sight. There's a way to play with this build that makes it a lot easier. So we're going to be using focus, guys. So focus, if you spam L2 on console or on PS4 or the right mouse button to aim, you can actually have intervals. So you can run a little bit, press the aim button, run a little bit more, press the aim button, and it still keeps focus active. Don't just think you have to constantly hold it. And by the way, when you are holding the focus while you're scoped in, you can drop your skills, you can do all that stuff as long as you still hold the aiming button. You don't lose the buff at all, which is very nice. So let's go over the pieces. This is a must-have for this build because this is 20% headshot damage. from the punch drunk. This is an absolute necessity. It's just 20% headshot damage is the whole idea. We want to get as much headshot damage as possible. It's the most efficient way of doing damage, so make sure you guys get this mask. It's really, really good. Put on your weapon, on your red mod slots, put headshot damage, guys. 9.4, that's not a bad one. Make sure you put headshot damages on all of your mod slots. That's very important. So once you've gotten the punch drunk, we're going to go over the chest piece. Providence, the reason why is because we get 10% headshot damage, which is very, very nice. This is actually a really, really good one. I could have been a bit better with crit damage over there, but it doesn't matter. We're not really focused too much on critting. Focus, so increases total weapon damage by 5%. What you guys need to know is you need to actually have, so that's why I said before, if you're going to use that sniper, you need to have a proper scope that's 8 times or higher. Otherwise, you won't proc focus. You could go glass cannon if you want to not use a scope. It's completely up to you. But I tested it, and this actually does more damage for some reason than my perfect glass cannon for some reason. I don't know why, don't ask me why, but I was just hitting slightly more, probably because my chest piece is better on this one, but it's up to you guys. I personally don't think being squishy is a good idea, but that's the thing. If you guys want to use a scope and you use perfect glass cannon, you know, you're not going to be able to see your health because you just see a scope, so you can get killed very quickly. That's why I prefer focus all day long. But like I said, if you guys don't like scoping in, don't use this because obviously it will not work. Use perfect glass cannon. But this is really, really strong right now. It's very fun, and it's perfect with the Nemesis because you're going to spend a lot of time scoped in, and to get the maximum amount of damage you want to be scoped in. I mean, 45% extra headshot damage just from the mod is a must, especially on the White Death. So let's go over the backpack before we go over the aces. So guys, I know vigilance, I could probably get a slightly more damage, but here's the thing, because you're not running perfect glass cannon, I thought to myself, well, we're going to be scoping in a lot, and you do take a bit of damage because I recommend you have a healer in your team who's actually healing you, because you will be doing so much damage. You'll one-shot all the enemies. If you can have a healer, this is perfect because you can still take damage and vigilance won't be off. See, if you could use vigilance right here, you could get 25% weapon damage instead of just 15, but if you take damage you lose it, and you're going to be scoped in using focus. So in my honest opinion, I think this is better for now. I wanted to try something different as well. You're going to be in cover and you can use this, but let me tell you something now. This is very strong. Vigilance is a very, very good option. I would recommend it. If you guys don't want to be in cover, use this. If you want to be scoped in and you think you're not going to take a lot of damage, because I tell you now, I get tapped every now and again because I'm scoped in. That's why I prefer this, and it's still very nice because you don't lose the damage ever as long as you're in cover. So it's completely up to you. You can use both. It all depends on your playstyles. So perfect glass cannon or vigilance, you can swap them up, but just remember, like I always say, you have to listen to how you play. You cannot just copy what I'm telling you, or just say, oh, I'm just going to copy what he does. No, because you need to understand that it's because I'm used to using a scope. I like using a scope. I like being in cover when I'm using sniper builds. Some people play completely differently, so I can't stress that enough, guys. Just adapt to your own playstyle. Then here is an interesting thing. Okay, now you might have thought to yourself, well, why'd you only go for 3 aces? Because I don't want situational damage. Aces and 8s when it procs. If you have the 4-piece, you can get huge damage, but it's situational. Like I said, you guys can swap the mask out and just put aces mask, but it's going to be situational damage, and I wouldn't recommend it. So aces and 8s. Now this is where it gets interesting. This 3-piece bonus is actually multiplicative. You guys are going to see how much headshot damage I have. It's ridiculous. It doesn't even add up. So marks on rifle, 20%. Like I said, you can use the 4-piece, but to be honest, guys, it doesn't proc that much when you're using these bolt action snipers. If you want to use the 4-piece, you're going to need to use an SVD, which isn't that strong right now. It's good, but it's not as good as these ones I'm using now. So it's completely up to you. Like I said, you have to adapt it. So roll headshot damage, weapon damage. It's going to be a 3-piece. More headshot damage, weapon damage. Lovely. Then headshot damage, weapon damage. I need to max that one out, to be honest. Then we're going to be getting huge damage all around, massive amounts of headshots. Here's the thing though, like I said before, if you watch the gameplay, you can keep spamming the trigger and you won't lose focus. And it's pretty strong. It's very good, and focus comes pretty quick. It doesn't take too long to proc, which is nice. So let's go over my stats. Okay, so we have got crit chance don't weigh, crit damage do not weigh. 372% headshot damage. That is a lot. That is a chunk of headshot damage. So you guys need to try and get above 300%. I would recommend. Then you're rolling. Very, very nice. make sure you have that. That's pretty much all we need to look at. I'll just scroll through it. If you guys wanted to see anything else, you can pause the video. But yeah, the skills are completely up to you. Normally I use the drone, the turret that gives you a pulse, but I've gone for this because this hive is really nice. We get some extra damage and weapon handling. I recommend you guys, if you're on console, to always use this. It's very, very strong. The booster hive. And then I've just got a normal pulse on. I might actually change it to drone. I don't really bother. It doesn't bother me too much. I normally play with people with skill builds as well. So you can have a 19-second cooldown. With your pulse, you can pulse enemies, get some more damage. It works really well, and it allows you to see enemies. So it's really, really good. So yeah, that's pretty much the super sniper build. So the reason why I give you guys options is because the problem is too many people get caught up with best in slot. You know, someone will say, but this gives you more damage. Yes, but can you actually use it to your advantage, or can you play with that playstyle? You know, some people will stack completely headshot damage and they can't even hit that many headshots. It's, you know what I'm saying, guys? So you need to make sure that, like I said, perfect glass cannon is not an easy talent to run, especially in legendary missions. Composure, or do you want vigilance? You need to decide. But in my opinion, in my playstyle, this is perfect. This works so incredibly well. I don't lose damage from my backpack. I'm hitting huge focus headshots, over 12, almost 13 million with my Nemesis, like 8 million with my White Death, which is really, really good because you can spam it. It's great. So I really do enjoy this build. It's very strong. And this is how I recommend to run your sniper builds in this game currently. So yeah, that's going to be it for the build, guys. Please leave a like, make sure to subscribe, click the notification bell, consider becoming a member for my homepage, and I'll be seeing everybody in the next video. Peace out.